must think he know it all.
Yo, it's your boy Ben Miami. You are now tuned into another episode of the Wise Guy Podcast. First and foremost, we are now entering Week 16 of the NFL. First thing I want to talk about is the MVP race. So during the season, we've named people like Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Jared Goff that are all like in the race for MVP. But you can really narrow it down to two people if you really watch the football and you know what you're talking about and you know bull. You can narrow it down to two people right now, and those two people are Josh Allen and Lamar Action Jackson. Right now, I really think Josh Allen is the front runner for MVP right now. If you see what he's been doing, he's been balling out of his mind. The last 5 games, the Buffalo Bills have an average of 30-plus points on each of their opponents. He's been averaging 3 or more touchdowns at each of these games. Last 2 games, he had a total of 10 touchdowns, equal. 0 picks, 0 turnovers. I know he lost against the Rams, but he put out a dogfight, and you could tell if you take Josh Allen off that team, they're gonna be nothing. And Josh Allen, we're not acting like Josh Allen's playing with like stars or anything. He's playing with a bunch of like, I want to say mediocre, but they're kind of mid. Okay, other than James Cook, they're kind of mid, you know. And their defense is not really that good this year either. They played against the Rams, let up a lot of points. Played against Detroit, let up a lot of points. So right now, I just feel like Josh Allen is the leader in the MVP race right now because what he's been doing is crazy. And I know. If you look at the stats, Lamar Jackson's stats are better than Josh Allen's right now. But if we're going off of stats and everything, Lamar Jackson should have never won MVP last year, if you think about it. If we're going off of his strictly stats. But yes, Lamar Jackson is also balling. He just came off a 5-touchdown game. He's about to, I think, break the all-time record for completions or something, or passer rating. He's been balling too. He just came off with the 5 touchdowns against the Giants. But if you just look what Josh Allen's been doing, first of all, he knocked off the undefeated reigning champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. He knocked them off, gave them their first loss of the season. Then he beat the red-hot Lions, and it seemed like nobody could beat the Lions. But I know they're injured and stuff right now, but it just seemed like nobody could beat the Lions. And he came in and gave them 5 touchdowns, and he was doing some crazy junk. Like, I know one play got called back, but he threw a chest pass for a touchdown and literally threw it and looked away and caught it. That was some crazy junk. Like, the stuff that Josh Allen is doing right now is just it's MVP deserved. I feel like he should win the MVP, but it can come down to the last 3 games. That's going to happen. So if Josh Allen goes and stakes up the last 3 games, then it might be for Lamar for the taking. But I just feel like right now is Josh Allen's award to win. And I feel like Saquon is going to probably win Offensive Player of the Year, since what he's been doing is crazy. I think he's either first and second in rushing yards. He just made the Eagles look crazy different. I feel like if Saquon goes down for the Eagles are going to go down. It is if you look at it, you see why I say that. The passing game is it's iffy. Yes, they did what they did against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but passing game kind of iffy. Next, I want to talk about Kirk Cousins and him being bitched for Michael Penix. So as we know, Kirk Cousins got signed to a 4-year, $180 million deal with the Atlanta Falcons. Mind you, he only has 1 playoff win in his whole career. But he got signed to that deal for the Atlanta Falcons. And after him getting signed to the deal, the Atlanta Falcons went and picked up, for their first-round pick, Michael Penix. So first couple games, Kirk Cousins was doing pretty good. Against the Eagles, he had that game-winning touchdown. He beat the Eagles. He lost against the Chiefs. Went crazy against the Bucks, had 4 touchdowns. Then he went crazy again against the Bucks and had 4 touchdowns again. And one of the games, he had 509 yards. So he was balling a couple of these games. And then after that Saints game, he just had stinkers. He had one game where he had 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He had a streak where he had 0 touchdowns, and he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 interceptions. 0 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in a 4-game span. So they just felt like we just got to get a rookie a shot, because we're still in the playoff spot and we're not playing winning football with you right now. It has to be a confidence thing with Kirk Cousins, because Kirk Cousins has been doing this for a long time. He's been playing at a high level for a long time. And I don't know how you can go 4 games with not throwing a touchdown and be a starter in the league. So those 4 games, they got impatient and they said Michael Penix is the guy now. And it's going to be interesting to see how Michael Penix steps up to the table and like, cause we know the Atlanta Falcons have weapons. They got Drake London, they got Kyle Pitts, Bijan Robinson, Darren Moody. They have a lot of weapons. So like, I know their mindset right now is they're in a win now situation. They have all these weapons. They're like, and they have a good defense. They're like, we should be able to win now. And they thought that Kirk Cousins was that next piece, but obviously it's not. So now they're giving Michael Penix the starting job. It's just, I want to see what happens with it. I know Michael Penix has a history of him getting injured a lot during college and everything, but I'd be a very good new chapter for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't understand what they're going to do with Kirk Cousins since they just gave him a 4-year deal for $180 million. His agent needs to go down in history books as one of the best agents because what he just did was damn near armed robbery. Like, I always thought it was weird that they paid Kirk Cousins all that money due to the fact that he is 36. He's coming off a torn Achilles right now, and he only won one playoff game his whole career. It's just weird to me that they paid him all that money and then they went and got Michael Penix, but they were obviously prepared. So we're gonna see how that plays out. Next, I want to talk about is the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers are just coming off beating the brakes off the Seahawks. It was so bad that you heard "Low Pack Go" in Seattle, which is crazy. The home of the 12 man, which is crazy. The Packers are looking very good. I feel like they're striding at the right time. They haven't hit their peak yet. They haven't hit their ceiling, but they're striding at the right time. They're another team that's averaging 27 points a game. Sometimes they've been blowing out teams. They blew out the 49ers. They blew out the Dolphins. They had a very close game with the Lions that came down to the wire. I felt like even before the game, I felt like whoever got the ball first was going to win that game. After that, they blew out the Seahawks. Packers are still the youngest team in the NFL. They're a young and excelling team right now. The only thing that I fear of with the Green Bay Packers right now is their schedule, what they're going to have to go through in the playoffs. Because right now they're going to have to play the Bucs. They're probably going to beat the Bucs, but after that they're going to have to either play the Vikings or Detroit or the Eagles. And they already show they can't beat those three teams yet. All this talent you have around you, you have Josh Jacobs, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Wicks, Jaden Reed, Jordan Love at quarterback, Tucker Kraft. Then you have your defense that's playing at a top 10 level right now that I haven't seen in a minute. As a Packers fan, I haven't seen a top 10 defense in a minute. So are they going to be able to get over that hump? Are they going to be able to beat the best teams right now? Because you can tell the Packers are contenders right now. They can definitely go into. I feel like they could definitely go into Philly and upset Philly. They could definitely go into to Minnesota, upset Minnesota. They could definitely go to Detroit right now due to the fact that Detroit is crazy injured. I think they have like 22 people on IR. They could definitely go into Detroit and upset Detroit right now. All depends on, first off, situationally how we're gonna play. Can we put up that many points? I feel like when we play the Saints this Monday night, Malik Willis need to be playing at the end of fourth quarter. Malik Willis need to be in. I need to see some reps from Malik Willis. It should be a 40-point game by the end of the fourth quarter. You don't play with your food. And this game right here, it really shouldn't be. This is the game to clinch the playoff spot. First off, we're gonna be if we win this game, we're gonna be 11-4, and we're still gonna be the 6th spot, and we're probably gonna stay at the 6th spot because Detroit and Minnesota being so good right now, only losing combined to 4 games. So it all really depends on how we're going to play situationally, and it depends a lot on Jordan Love, who's been playing excellent ball of late. He hasn't thrown a pick since the Bears game. Over 100 passer rating in all those games since the Bears game. He's been balling out of his mind right now, I ain't going to lie. So it really all depends on him and situationally. How are we going to do in these situations? I know we're the youngest team. We have a lot of star power on that team, though. And I feel like they haven't reached their full potential yet, and they're gonna be scary. I don't think Detroit, the Vikings, or Philly wants to face this Green Bay Packers team right now. I don't think, but then again, I don't know if Green Bay wants to face those teams right now, especially with the Eagles. So it's really gonna be a toss up. I feel like Jordan Love is playing. He's playing very good. He's playing his best ball right now. You could tell he's healthy. You could tell that groin injury is not nagging him anymore. You could tell the knee injury is not nagging him anymore. He's running around. He's being more freely. He's not throwing picks anymore. And those other guys are eating. Like Christian Watson, he's averaging per catch 28 yards. So he's been balling crazy. Romeo just came off of 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs is Josh Jacobs. The best free agent signing we ever did, I think, since Charles Woodson. He's been balling crazy. After that, I want to talk about the 49ers downfall. It just seems like now the 49ers Super Bowl is closed. I feel like they have a lot of older guys on their team, like Trent Williams, George Kittle, Deebo Samuels, Christian McCaffrey. They have all and they all really have to pay these guys. They really are. They already paid most of the guys, but them just keep getting hurt is gonna keep diminishing them, and now they're gonna have to try to pay Brock Purdy. And are you gonna be able to pay him? Is he a $50 million quarterback a year, do you think? And if you do think, then you have to pay him, and you have to let one of these other guys go. So it's hard. I don't know what you can do for the 49ers right now. It's looking very rough. That whole Devondre Campbell situation too, very crazy right now. Him quitting during the game, and they just haven't been playing good ball. After that, I want to talk about the New York Jets. So, if you haven't heard, the New York Jets, it's been a crazy year for the New York Jets with all the expectations, with Aaron Rodgers coming back from a torn Achilles at 40 years old. With all the talent they had, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, all the talent they had on defense with Sauce Gardner, and then you bring in Devontae Adams, and you really think that it's really Super Bowl bust right now. But it's been a roller coaster for the Jets. They're out of the playoffs already. They have a 4-10 record, and their owner fired Robert Saleh. They fired their GM Joe Douglas. It's been a very rocky season for the Jets, as you could tell. And then it's coming out that Woody Johnson didn't trade for Jerry Jeudy because of his nephew telling him about his low Madden rating, which is crazy to me. I hope that's a joke. But other than that, what's happening right now with the Jets, I want to talk about vintage Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams moment. In the win against the Jaguars, Aaron Rodgers went 16 for 30, 289 yards, 53 completion rating, 9.6 average per throw, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a QBR of 120. He balled crazy this game, and Devontae Adams balled crazy too. He had 2 touchdowns, should have been 3 if you think about it. 198 yards and 9 receptions. And in the first half, he didn't even have a reception. He had 2 targets and 1 drop. Whatever they said at halftime needs to keep happening, okay? But just a crazy vintage Aaron Rodgers moment. This is really what the Jets been wanting from Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams this whole year, even from Garrett Wilson. This is what they really been wanting. Another thing with Garrett Wilson is, do we really think that Garrett Wilson would ask for a trade? If so, where would he be traded? And if they do keep him, how much will they pay him to get extended? Because Garrett Wilson, he's been in the league for 3 years now, I think, and each year he's had 1,000 yards. With Zach Wilson, Mike White, I think last year Tim Boyles was playing a couple times. And with Aaron Rodgers, so he's been playing. Garrett Wilson is a phenomenal talent. You saw the catch what he did against Houston. He's crazy. Garrett Wilson's a freak of nature. The stuff that he does is insane. Saying that he might request for a trade. He doesn't know if the Jets will extend him. And I wouldn't know either with Woody Johnson being our owner. We don't know what's going on. You fired our coach and you fired our GM. I understand the record was bad, but we lost. I don't even think their record was a losing record when he got fired. No, it was a losing record when he got fired, but still, it was out of nowhere. Another question is Aaron Rodgers going to come back for another season and play for the Jets? He said that he's optimistic. He doesn't know yet, but he said he's willing to take a pay cut, and he's saying he's willing to mentor a young quarterback that they draft, if they draft a quarterback first round or anything. But I don't think they need to draft a quarterback first round. They need to draft a tight end or a corner or something, because their defense is their front end amazing, but their secondary trash, horrible. I feel like they should run it back. It's been a lot of the games they played. They've led at the end of the fourth quarter, but they keep on finding ways to lose. I don't understand how. Even with Aaron Rodgers having the ball in his hands at the last seconds, they keep finding ways to lose. A lot of the games been one-score games, and if you look at Aaron Rodgers' stats right now, he has 3,255 yards, which is 11th in the league. He has 25 touchdowns, which is 7th in the league. He has 8 interceptions, and he has a QBR of 54, which is horrible. The QBR is horrible. But In touchdowns and yards, he's top 10. And to keep it very real, if you're a Jets fan, I know for a fact this quarterback play is probably one of the best quarterbacks you've seen play in a Jets uniform in the past 10 years, since Mark Sanchez, if you really want to be honest. Because Mark Sanchez, the last time he made the playoffs. The Packers won a Super Bowl. So maybe keep him another year. He doesn't want to come back? Okay, that's one thing. Okay, we got to let him walk. But if he wants to come back again, and it seems like he's still having fun playing, we've seen that it came out that he was injured during that stretch where they were losing a lot of games, and he was playing bad. They said he was dealing with a lot of hamstring injuries and everything. He was dealing with a lot of leg injuries, but he was on the field, so it's really no excuses because he put himself out there. So, but it's going to be interesting to see what the Jets do next year. A lot of people this year thought that the Jets were going to be one of the best teams in AFC, and right now they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I don't know how it's going to work out, but me being a big Aaron Rodgers fan, I hope for the best. I hope he keeps playing because we're going to lose a legend from my childhood and our generation when he leaves. So it's going to be a sad day. But they still have to find a head coach too. Like they have to still find a GM. They still have to find a head coach. And if they'll go out there and get Mike Variable, they go out there and get him, that would be amazing. Or they go get the C from the Lions, Aaron Glenn. That would be amazing too. They just need somebody. They need a culture switch. They just need something to help them. They need something. I don't know. They need an identity. They have no identity. They really thought that Aaron Rodgers coming off of Torrey Achilles, a 41 Aaron Rodgers coming off of Torrey Achilles was going to carry them to the promised land. Now I want to talk about the playoff picture. If the season was to end today, the playoff picture would be the first round. It would be Minnesota in the 5th seed. Well, let me just go by seeds first. So in the 1st seed, it will be Detroit. 2nd seed will be Philly. 3rd seed will be the Bucks. The 4th seed will be the Rams. The 5th seed will be the Vikings. The 6th seed will be the Packers, and the 7th seed will be the Commanders. That's on the NFC. On the AFC, the 1st seed will be Kansas City. The 2nd seed will be Buffalo. The 3rd seed will be Pittsburgh. The 4th seed would be Houston. The 5th seed would be Baltimore. The 6th seed would be Denver. And the Chargers would be the 7th seed. But I think that swap because the Chargers just beat them today in Thursday Night Football. So that would probably swap out. But if it would end today, this is who would be playing who. So the Eagles will be playing the Commanders first round. The Bucks will be playing the Packers in Tampa Bay in Raymond James Stadium. If that actually happens, I want to let you know right now. Right now, gang. We will be at that game. Okay? We will be at that game. We will be vlogging that day too. Vlogging. We will be vlogging that day. And we'll get a very, very deserved get back. Very deserved belt to ass to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fuck the Buccaneers. Bucks K. I don't like the Buccaneers at all. The reason I don't like the Buccaneers, even though I'm from St. Petersburg, Florida, is when Brady came to the Bucks. First of all, nobody liked the fucking Bucks before Brady came to the fucking Bucks. Okay, nobody paid the Bucks no mind. But as soon as Tom Brady stepped his foot into Tampa Bay, stepped his foot into Raymond James Stadium, everybody had two hands on the fucking. You could just see who the NFL whores were when Tom Brady came to the Buccaneers. But anyways, we'll be vlogging that day if that happens. And then we have the Rams versus the Vikings. And then Detroit, the number 1 seed, gets that bye. Then on the AFC, we have Buffalo versus the Broncos. Then we have the Steelers versus the Chargers. Then we have Houston versus Baltimore. And then Kansas City being the 1st seed. So that might switch up due to the fact that Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes, he might be hurt. We don't know. They said he's a full participant in all the practices. He might play on Saturday. We don't know yet. And it's going to be a tough game because you see how them boys out there in Houston hitting. Did you see? They weren't sparing nobody when they were playing the Dolphins. You see what they did to Trevor Lawrence? They don't care. They don't care. So if it was me, I'd say, hey, Patty. I'll tap right here on the shoulder, be like, hey, sit this one out for me. Sit this one out for me, young blood. We're trying to three-peat. We don't need that right now. This regular season. Fuck the 1 seed. Fuck home field advantage. We need you for the playoffs. But that's just me, though. That's just me. I can't speak for Andy Reid, okay? I can't speak for the Chiefs organization, but that's just me. And then the Lions dealing with a lot of injuries. They have like 22 people on IR right now. It's been crazy for them. I feel like they might go down. The Vikings might go and beat them, and they might be and then the Eagles might be the number 1 seed, and then that might switch up things. Then the Vikings might go to 2, and Detroit might go to 5. So like, it might switch up these next 2 games, but we don't know. I mean, these next 3 games, but we don't know. So we'll just see at the end. But I'll be back. I'm gonna keep on making videos these next 3 weeks, especially with playoffs. Ooh, we're going to be locked in there in playoffs. But after that, I want to give up my top 10 teams. The first team right now, I got the Eagles. The Eagles are looking like the best team right now. They're looking like the Super Bowl favorite. First of all, they got Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown. They got Smith. Defense is phenomenal. Secondary is phenomenal. Did you see the 10-minute drive in the fourth quarter they did on the Pittsburgh Steelers? And let's not talk about we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers too. We're not talking about some pushover over here. We're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. They did a 10-minute drive on them. A 10-minute drive. Went all the way down to the field. They started at the 1-yard line. 10-minute drive went all the way down to the field and scored. They embarrassed them boys, okay? BTA. And then they did Baltimore crazy too. Put crazy belts ass on them. And since the Detroit, they keep getting hurt, it just feels like it's the first seed right now is going to be for the Eagles. Due to the fact, I feel like if Detroit stayed healthy this whole season, I feel like it was going to be them. And whoever wants to get to that Super Bowl got to go through Detroit. But right now, it's looking like the Eagles. After that, the second team, I got the Bills. Really, I put the Bills second because Josh Allen, he's been balling out of his mind. Balling crazy. Doing whatever he wants. He's playing like Superman. He's playing like Houdini. Like I said before, he's been balling crazy. Then I got the Chiefs. The Chiefs really speak for themselves. They got Patrick Mahomes. Look at their record. Even though their offense hasn't been playing as well, it's like kind of one-dimensional right now. Patrick Mahomes is not really putting up a lot of good numbers right now. I think him and Aaron Rodgers have like the same stats right now. So he's not really been playing as the Patrick Mahomes we know he's accustomed to, but we know that switch can click at any time. And if you see their record, their schedule coming up, it's crazy. They play the Texans, then they play the Steelers, then they play the Broncos. 3 very tough defenses. So they might fall out that one spot too. So we don't know what it's gonna look like yet, but they're the top. I feel like they're number 3 right now. Then we have number 4, the Vikings. Vikings are a very scary team. I really thought they were frauds, but then Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson went crazy. Sam Darnold's been playing crazy. I feel like Kevin O'Connell is another quarterback whisperer, just like Kyle Shanahan. They've been playing crazy. Brian Flores has been having them boys on defense fly around the ball, playing dominant football. And we're not talking about them at all. Like they're not getting enough praise in the media at all. They're not getting talked about enough at all. They're not anybody's high top rankings, I don't think, but they've been looking good. After that, I got Detroit. The reason I put Detroit at 5 is even though that they've been doing teams in worse way this season, those injuries are going to come to bite them in their ass, I feel like. It's been 22 people on IR, but I know Dan Campbell, next man up. And with Dan Campbell, that was some dumbass shit doing against the Bills. I understand, maybe we can't stop Josh Allen. Maybe we have to give an opportunity to get our offense back on the field. But 12 minutes down by 10, offside kick. And then you see the rules. You got to literally tell them. You're literally telling the other team, oh, we're offside kicking him. It's like the element of surprise is out of the window. You're telling them, like, oh, yeah, we're going to offside kick it right now. It's crazy. Their injuries are hurting them bad. That's why I put them at 5 right now. They're still a very dominant team. Their offense is still dominant. They still have a lot of players. David Montgomery going down might be season-ending injury. That might hurt them in the long run, but right there I got them 5. 6, I got the Packers. The Packers are another scary team that doesn't get talked about a lot in the media. I feel like they're peaking at the right time. They haven't peaked yet. They haven't reached their ceiling yet. I just feel like it's going to be hard for them to reach the Super Bowl right now because of the people they have to get through. Yes, they are. They're going to have to get through the Vikings, Detroit, and the Eagles. It's either one of those 3 teams they got to get through. And it's going to be hard for the Packers, but I feel like they have a young team. They're very inspired. They haven't reached their ceiling yet. They can put up the points. They can go toe to toe with each of these teams. It's just, can they come out with the win? And they need to, because I need to take this banner down. I'm ready for a new banner. I got the Steelers. Those are a good team. They might win the division. They might not. Depending on if the Ravens beat them on Saturday. Had Lamar's number for the past couple years. Might change this week. Russell Wilson, he's been playing good, but I feel like they're without George Pickens. They're very one dimensional. Very one dimensional. They can't score a lot of points with. They can't go toe to toe with a lot of teams without George Pickens. That George Pickens is their deep threat. Like, you can tell when he's not playing, that deep ball is took away. They're a whole different team without them, I feel like. After that, I got the Ravens. The reason I didn't put them over the Steelers is the Steelers have been having Lamar Jackson number 5. I don't know how long. Like, it's just, that's one team he doesn't play good against. I know it's a divisional rival, and it's probably one of the best rivalries in the game today. But the Ravens, Lamar Jackson been playing like an MVP level player right now. He's probably has, I think he's either top 1 or top 2 in touchdowns. He's been balling out his mind. He just came off of 5 touchdowns. And we forget they do still have Derrick Henry. They have Zay Flowers. Like, it's a good team. I feel like they can make a run in the playoffs, but can they get past Patrick Mahomes and Buffalo and them? After that, I got the Texans. That defense has been playing crazy. They've been taking niggas out. Like, they've been playing phenomenal ball right now. CJ Stroud, he's been playing good. It's just them not having Stephon Diggs is gonna hurt them. They still got Joe Mixon. Tank Dell's been stepping up, and Nico Collins coming back healthy. So that's good for them. After that, I got the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, probably your rookie of the year, or Bo Nix, or Brock Bowers, but it could really be a toss-up. But Jaden Daniels been balling crazy. He's been playing like a vet, even though he's a rookie. That offense is electric with Terry McLaurin and Robertson Jr., Zach Ertz. They got a lot of their defense is looking good too. But I don't feel like they can really, like, they might be able to make an upset in the playoffs, but I don't know if they really can make an upset in the playoffs.